Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. Today we're back with another Starcraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. Today we have ourselves a Terran versus Protoss here on the map King Sejong Station. So not a map that we see in TvP too much, but regardless, should be a good game between these two players. Two North American players, I believe. Well, sort of North American, so let me just go on with the introductions here. Spawning down in the bottom right-hand side of the map, the purple Terran player playing for Team Ordo Equitum. It is AegiS. Now, that Ordo Equitum is actually a Latin American team, I believe, so while this game did take place on the North American server, I'm not exactly sure where AegiS is from, though. But regardless, on that Latin American team. So, we now have Deadzerg spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map. There's a good introduction for you. Playing for Team Polygon Gaming. So these two players, not necessarily the most known pros, but it should be a good game here as they both are Grandmaster level players, so very good regardless. So we have ourselves just a standard gateway opening here for Deadzerg. Actually not mining gas right now. He was a bit late on that, but regardless, should be fine. Going for that Nexus early on. Fancy wall off here up at the top, wanting to stop any potential Reapers jumping up here with that gateway. Meanwhile, AegiS is going for, he's got a Reaper out. No, I think he actually skipped the Reaper. Yeah, AegiS actually going straight for a reactor here. Sort of greedy play, not going to be going for that scouting information. He's got an SCV, which will do scouting here for him. But if there's like proxied tech or something out on the map, the Reaper's not going to be getting that continuous information. Maybe a choice because he knows that Protoss players do things like block off the Reaper paths on this map. So AegiS going to be getting out reactor Marines very quickly. A build like this is nice to stop an Oracle if one is coming. It's going to give you Marines for extra defense to maybe shove off an early Adept, maybe a Mothership Core if Deadzerg decides to move across the map with that. For now, though, AegiS just getting in with that SCV, really seeing everything, though. I mean, he saw the extra gas timing, he saw the building placement, and saw that there wasn't really no other buildings, saw the Nexus, so probably feeling pretty safe here. He's getting up his CC. Meanwhile, Deadzerg went across the map, saw the CC building. So really both players are content here, knowing what's going on. And we see that continuous Marine production from AegiS here, followed up by a factory. Another gas on the way, so likely going to be some pressure coming out of AegiS here, possibly Liberators, possibly mine drops. It really depends, but with these early Marines, it's definitely possible to get some pressure off when they're joined by a Medivac. For now, though, we see that Adept moving out for Deadzerg, Mothership Core joining in as well. Now it's time for these early Marines to shine and possibly pick this off. Gonna try not to lose an SCV is AegiS. Ooh, doesn't raise the right depot there, so the Adept does get in for the full scout. SCV being harassed by the Mothership Core. AegiS needs to react here, but he's focusing on the Adept at the front, so that Mothership Core gets the one SCV and gets out of there. Meanwhile, Deadzerg just getting all the scouting information he wants, but that Mothership Core and Adept are going home as it's getting to the point in which drops will be a threat soon. And you definitely need those units back at home to defend. Follow-up, though, here, coming out of Deadzerg, getting out an Observer, followed up by a few more gateways here. Twilight Council, Blink on the way is the tech of choice for the Protoss. Protoss usually choosing Glaives or Resonating Glaives or Blink. So either Adepts or Stalkers, and the choice for Deadzerg here is Stalkers. Good for shutting down drops, maybe putting on some aggression, we'll see. Depends if he throws up more gateways or anything along those lines. We now see, though, 4 Hellions were made for AegiS here. Gonna move across the map, try to get some harassment, and we don't see like, when you think of Terran versus Protoss, you don't often think of Hellions here, because they're just not good versus most Protoss units, but for harassment like this, these 4 Hellions getting in, Photon Overcharge going down. Workers are definitely going down, though, here. That was 6 workers killed by AegiS. Not necessarily the best, but that was definitely some good damage there. Forced out 2 Photon Overcharges, forced the probe pull. So 6 worker kills, not something to scoff at. We now see sort of the next stage coming in for AegiS. He's getting up this extra barracks, an impact on the way. Third CC, so it is going to be quite a macro-oriented game here coming out of AegiS. Deadzerg has this observer in the base, though, can sort of see everything that's going on right now. Third base for Deadzerg on the way. Third CC on the way, so it is definitely going to be a macro game here for both of these players. Sort of even worker count, well, even, actually I believe that Liberator did get in and do some harassment, yeah. I don't think it got a couple of kills, I believe 3 or 4 kills there is what that Liberator got. But yeah, as I was about to say before that harassment there, semi-even economy right now. Mules are going to make up the difference for the Terran player, even though he's down on workers. That Liberator, though, getting in again, still at 3 kills, forcing off the mining. Now, the Blink for Deadzerg is very good at shutting down those Liberators, though. And the Stalkers can poke and prod around right now. Now, look at this. Another Liberator just flies right over. Very lucky those Stalkers were out of position. Stalkers can't make up their mind as what they want to do, whether they want to go poke or stay back to try and get some defense off. Deadzerg is sort of aware that this could be going on right now, so the Mothership Core moves back. Another pylon goes up, and these pylons with Photon Overcharge will definitely shut down this Liberator. A bit of mining being denied, but it's literally just that one mineral patch which was being denied. Liberator, though, going full on, trying to siege up and deny all this mining, get some probe kills, but that Mothership Core was waiting. Uses its last Photon Overcharge for the moment to shut that down. Now we actually see Deadzerg still just on the 3 gases here, so not going for any tech really. He is now just throwing up a forge. I assume we'll see him take that extra gas if he decides to go a more teching route as the Protoss player. However, Warp Prism out for Deadzerg right now. He can go for some harassment Blink Stalkers. He could go for a Blink all-in if he chooses. Right now though, AegiS, he does have that 3rd CC finished, but he's not ready to float it, so he's just going to be very confident holding off his main base right now. We see 5 barracks production for AegiS right now. He can start making Marauders and Marines. Actually, 3 Marauders out at a time right now, so it's definitely a good thing for Deadzerg that he's not committing to any heavy Blink pressure right now. Bunker salvage for AegiS. He's feeling secure right now with all this production. I'm going to be having out a reactor on a starport, going to be getting out plenty of bio, plenty of medivacs to support them. Right now we see the Stalkers for Deadzerg wanting to poke. I mean, it's really free commitment that they can do. They can just go in as long as Deadzerg has good control. He won't lose any units here. Oh, a few Adepts actually warping in here for Deadzerg. Could get a few of these transferring SCVs. Now, keep in mind that these Adepts do not have oh, they actually do have Resonating Glaives. Never mind, I was about to say, as Blink was his first choice, but Deadzerg now has both of those techs, so he can sort of alternate between Adepts and Stalkers here. Stalkers, though, gonna come into the 3rd base of AegiS, but he scanned, saw them. But really, this is just a good distraction. Adepts gonna be dropping in here for Deadzerg, starting to kill off SCVs at a rapid rate here. I believe 6 SCVs went down. There are gonna be more here. And now we see mining is also denied, so Deadzerg definitely ahead in the economy right now. Look at that income. He's almost at 3,000. Very well saturated on all his bases. Still hasn't taken another gas though, so he's going to be going for a very heavy mineral comp, which likely means lots of Adepts here. Now the upgrades are on the way for both players. +1 is far ahead for Deadzerg. However, it's not going to be super effective when it comes up versus the 1-1 for AegiS. So if AegiS doesn't take a fight before that, he'll be in a good upgrade position by all means. For now though, the Protoss player just continuing to warp in more and more units here. Stalkers picking off a Widowmine to the left, and these Stalkers, they're just continuously poking, possibly going to try and get a Liberator. No, they are forced back. Ooh, Stalkers need to blink. They do get out of there. Pick off 1 Marine for a bit of shields and HP. Stalker's possibly going to be sandwiched here by some Marauders. One of them goes down, another blinks and tries to escape. However, these Marauders do have concussive shells, so the Stalkers can be slowed down. Though we now see a full-on move out for Deadzerg. He's going to intercept this army into the middle of the map. I'm not sure, though. He's just coming down this ramp with all of his units. The Adepts are going to get on top of this bio, so this is going to be a tough fight for AegiS. The Marauders will be shredded by these Immortals. AegiS retreating up this ramp here, possibly going to focus down these rocks. I don't think so, though. He's more concerned just about taking a good fight right now. And now we see AegiS is down on army supply right now. He is being forced back by Deadzerg. More bio rallying up to the front, stimming a bit preemptively there. Another Liberator is out, very important to this defense. AegiS gonna pick off that Observer, wants to sort of make Deadzerg question whether this attack is a good idea. However, Deadzerg has 4 Immortals. 1-1 now finishing up for AegiS. This is huge if he wants to make this hold. The Liberator is there in position. Deadzerg doesn't want to blink forward to take that, but he doesn't want to eat the shots. And it seems that Deadzerg's not too sure how he wants to go, whether he wants to commit to this attack. He has another Forge on the way, so he can always tech. We see some Warp Prism harassment here in the main base. A large portion of the bio is pulled back. In fact, that might actually be a bit too much bio for AegiS. If Deadzerg decides to push in, it will get very, very scary. Right now, army supply gap, the gap in army supply is sort of cleared up here. Mines up, even a turret. So AegiS very well in a defensive position right now. Deadzerg, 180 supply out of 180. Actually supply blocked for a bit, so he can't do any more warpins right now. But it's still a very, very scary army. No more upgrades on the way for either player. They're just massing units right now. Deadzerg floating a bit of minerals here, but he's just spending that all in warpins tech on the way now. He did get this gas finally, but he's not mining from it. He's mining from his 3rd base. I guess this natural base gas is just unloved. 4th base even mining gas. Massive income for Deadzerg right now, and it will definitely be a long-term income here with that 4th already up. We see AegiS starting to poke, getting confidence as he's built up in his army supply. He wants to take a fight before Deadzerg builds up to a later tech right now, and he's actually doing very well right now, shaving off Adepts here. That concussive shell and Immortal goes down as it fought into that Liberation Zone. However, AegiS might be getting a bit ahead of himself right now, but Liberators are sieging up, gonna turn the tide in this fight. 4 Liberators in total right now, making this fight go very well for AegiS. Now AegiS, with this concussive shell, can start focusing down at these expensive units like the Immortals. And that was an amazing fight by AegiS. With that upgrade advantage here, he can now pursue Deadzerg back home. Deadzerg has a 5th base on the way as he just had so many minerals to spend. But his composition is not the best. More Liberator range on the way, continuous Liberator production for AegiS right now. So AegiS' army is looking more terrifying, as Deadzerg hasn't really transitioned into anything. He's building more Immortals. Yes, that's good. He's now just getting out his 1st Disruptor, which is sort of his first higher tech unit. 2-1 upgrades will be done for Deadzerg soon, so that will put him back in the lead here. So that will allow his Adepts and Stalkers to take a much better fight versus his bio here. Some SCVs transferring for AegiS, wanting to secure this other base. Likely going to float his main base, maybe build another base here. Right now, Deadzerg, though, it seems that he's contemplating pushing out once again, but he does need to be careful. Still down on that army supply. The last fight didn't go so well for him. However, Deadzerg now transitioning 2 Stargates on the way. Likely going to throw up a Fleet Beacon, start getting a Tempest in such a scary late-game Protoss composition right now. 3-3 is on the way here. No, 3-2, pardon me. Although there's so many Liberators right now for AegiS, he wants to make something happen before. Oh, and all these Liberators sieging up on these Adepts. These Adepts need to get out of there. These cannons are going to buy a bit of time. Disruptor shot goes out, just picks off a Widowmine though. Another Disruptor is on the way, so as that Disruptor count builds, it will be able to make some work happen right now. But these Liberators sieging up on top of these cannons. Cannons buying a small amount of time, but there's simply not enough AA here for Deadzerg. These Liberators are just going to allow him to push in. A bit of overstimming on this army, but I don't know if it matters right now. He's simply got so many Liberators. That Liberator range making this so scary. Disruptor shot goes out. Another one goes out, but they both whiffed, and I think Deadzerg's going to have to abandon the space at the very least. Fleet Beacon is on the way for Deadzerg, but it's not quick enough. He needs to be able to deal with these Liberators, and right now he simply can't. Warping in a good number of Stalkers right now to try and get back in this game, but he's down on army supply. Not producing Tempest yet, as the Fleet Beacon is just finishing up. The 5th base is out for Deadzerg, so he's not in a terrible economic position right now, but if he loses this 5th base, it will start to look a bit poor here. AegiS maxed out. He can now start Going for more bases here. He's getting Liberators. Got plenty attack. Lots of production right now, so he can simply resupply. Disruptors, yes, they can sort of force a Terran to micro, but Liberators force a Protoss to micro here. A blanket of Liberation Zones raining down on the Protoss right now. He simply doesn't have an answer. These probes are trapped by a field of Liberation Zones here. This base is going to go down, and now Deadzerg's economy is in shambles right now. He's getting out a Tempest or two, but I don't know if this is going to be enough to stop the Terran from just collapsing in on the Protoss here. Income miles ahead for AegiS right now. Main bases, naturals, and even thirds starting to mine out for all these these two players. A single Viking on the way for AegiS. He will need more, but that means he's identified this Tempest transition here. So he's gonna be prepared. He's gonna have control of the skies. And how many Liberators is this? Oh, this is 16 Liberators. That is a simply absurd amount versus 1 Tempest and 6 Stalkers. The 4 Disruptors, though, if they can take out this bio, the Stalkers can jockey for a position. The Tempest can pick away. Now, there's actually some Adept harassment here. Great way for Deadzerg to try and get back into this game right now. AegiS clearing up this harassment. So both players not in the best economic position right now, as we've actually seen Deadzerg killed off a good amount of SCVs. So right now it's sort of just army versus army as the focus. We see, though, still no new 4th base on the way for AegiS, and a Widowmine actually got a decent hit there, I think, beating off a lot of Shield's Disruptors. Oh, and I think it actually might have gotten a Disruptor there. Oh, once again, though, we see AegiS moving in for the attack. A blanket of Liberators is going down. I don't know if Deadzerg's going to be able to hang on. The 1 Tempest is not going to be able to make this play. So many units being shaved off. All the Disruptors gone, so now this bio can simply do the work. These Liberators are going to come in. They can actually kill the Tempest. It's not often that you see Liberators with enough damage to actually kill the Tempest, and GG gets called as AegiS takes the game here. Very well played by both players. Just sort of a straight up standard macro game. Well done to AegiS for winning there. Deadzerg tried to transition, but he was simply sort of caught off guard with that failed attack. He didn't transition soon enough, I guess. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed the cast, feel free to let me know. If you have any feedback, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I shall see you guys next time.